Hey, y'all, we are back with another dense update. This update is sponsored by Biomax Peptides. Here we go. Last year, you could count on Alpin to put out an update every day of the current open registration numbers. But this year, not really taking his job so seriously. Looks like he missed a day. I guess it's not as fun when the open is actually doing well and registration is up. Friday night, Taylor, Bryson, J.R. Howell, and Sevon sat down on the CrossFit Games update show. They talked about a variety of topics, the content that came out of the Boys Interrupted and everything that happened at the ranch.
Once again, these guys are hitting it out of the park. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10.
I give it a 9 out of 10 just because Jason didn't collaborate and for the gayest reason.
Oh my gosh, it was so, dude. It was so bad.
I just don't want that vibe on my TL, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, shit, bro.
Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand James's. I didn't understand the put down of James. James did.
They talked about the recent French Throwdown qualifier leaks, which Luka Jukic had posted twice to his story in regards to those leaks. One being someone sending him the workout the Friday previous to the workouts being released. And in the other one, taking jabs at French Throwdown, Mayhem, and CrossFit.
Someone leaked the workout to Luka Jukic, and Luka Jukic then got angry and threw a temper tantrum on the internet because someone leaked it to him, and he felt morally obligated to tell everyone the workout's been leaked. I don't know if he actually shared it. And then he went on again and threw another temper tantrum and said a second workout has been leaked.
Oh, Luka Dukic throwing an emotional temper tantrum?
They talk about how it's possible for leaks like this to happen.
Outside of like the people you mentioned who tested your workouts, like I wouldn't trust any of them. And also too, JR, I actually think it's because they respect you in Syndicate more than the actual trust, because I think they're getting these workouts in front of people that don't necessarily have the same respect for the person programming the workout and the event director, like they did with you and Wilson, to actually keep them quiet.
But certainly French Throwdown, Mayhem, and all the people that had their hand in writing those workouts and the athletes that tested those workouts are probably all looking around at each other wondering, well, who did this? And why would you do it? Why would you send it to Luka?
So now there's probably finger pointing in the camps between Mr. Chaffee's camp and Mayhem camp. Who the fuck leaked it?
They also talk about the WFP season having a couple of qualifiers this year. I guess Sevon didn't realize they had online qualifiers last year for people to even get into the pro division, which I thought the whole reason of World Fitness Project and people having pro contracts is so they don't have to do qualifiers anymore, making their season a little bit easier. But now this year, 30 of the 50 pros that will be at each event have to do an online qualifier.
Same, but different, but still same.
You know, I was also curious. I noticed a lot of the pro contracts announcements on the World Fitness Project Instagram page, but as of January 21st, it's been a full stop.
By announcing it early like this, it leaves it open for some speculation. I wish they would have just done the full 10-day window and then announced who was signed.
So they originally had 8 men and 7 women announced on their Instagram, but since then, not a peep. And it's not like there's any negotiations that need to happen. Their contract was dependent upon their performance overall last season. So that amount is already set.
Okay, we got these 10 people, cool, but they're still however many days they got left in their window whenever it opened and whenever it closed. Like, why not just wait to 10 days? Like, why are you manufacturing news just to have something to say when it's not the whole list?
So that leaves the question, what's the holdup? Why aren't these athletes signing their contracts? Or if they have, why haven't they announced the rest of them yet? And it was never made public what the athletes were paid the first year in order to help market and promote the World Fitness Project. So it's very likely that a lot of the athletes are going to be getting decreases this year. Maybe some are getting increases, but we won't know because they never disclosed those amounts. For instance, Danny Spiegel, she finished the season overall in 15th place, which means her guaranteed contract is only $15,000. Is that what she got last year? I guess we'll never know. Unless, of course, eventually someday it gets leaked. Leaky workouts, leaky policy changes, leaky divorce filings. Do people really matter more? Which people really matter more? I had a busy weekend. I was up at the Fittest Experience in Austin. On the pro women's side, Caitlin Sanders, second year in a row, taking home first place. Caitlin finishing 100 points ahead of second place, pretty much dominating all weekend long. Out of the 7 events, there were only 2 events that she didn't place first or second in, and none of her finishes were outside of the top 10. Second place, Natalie Thompson. Natalie actually competed one year on a team, on a pro team, pregnant. Crazy impressive, super fit lady. I mean, does it even count if you don't bring all your children on the podium with you for the podium picture? And then in third place, Olivia, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Olivia Geisthart. Actually met her in line Friday. Super nice. She came all the way from Wisconsin to compete here. Has 2 little ones back home and ended up in third place. I thought that was pretty cool. And then for your pro men, Bill Leahy dominating the men's field. Lowest placement of the 7 workouts was 4th. 3 event wins, 2 seconds, an easy weekend for him. If you remember Elia from NorCal Classic, who won the infamous event with the barbell mess up and the weights and all that, he was here competing this weekend. He took 3rd place overall. He did a 345-pound barbell complex, 3 hang cleans, 2 front squats, and a jerk. Absolutely crazy. I thought it was cool when our team athlete Casey did a 330, but then this guy puts up a 345. And then a surprise face returning to individual competition, Travis Williams, finishing the weekend out in 5th overall. In the last 2 events of the weekend, he finished 2nd in both. And I gotta say, Travis looked good. He wasn't looking like the Travis that we saw at West Coast Classic a couple years ago. He's definitely trimmed down. He is looking like the CrossFit Games Travis Williams we all knew. And then I called it for the RX men, team density, Casey Strong, Matt Kaiser, and Aaron Neal, winning every single event but one, being the obstacle course, where they took a 6th. And we had 2 female teams in the RX division, triple density red, triple density blue. The blue team finishing in 7th overall, and triple density red starting off day 1 in 1st place. After day 2, found themselves in 2nd place. But on day 3, going into the final event, they were still tied with the other 1st place team. So it was basically, we got to win this to win it all. And they went out there and absolutely dominated, won by almost 20 reps. But I will say my only about the weekend was for that final event, none of the 3-person teams across every division, rookie teams, intermediate teams, men, women, masters teams, RX teams,
Etc. 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 Etc.
not one of them finished. Everybody got capped. That's a programming issue. That's a time cap issue. And I understand it was freezing out there all weekend, guys. And the awards always take a really long time. But at the same time, crossing the finish line at the very end of the weekend to celebrate with your team and your people is just one of those special moments. And that was taken away from pretty much all the winners on the 3-person team. So a little disappointed about that. I did see Don Fall Friday afternoon. I was watching some of the RX men, and he was actually sitting in the metal bleachers, and I didn't get a chance to go over and say hello. He actually got up and left prior to that heat ending, but he was there. Aside from the freezing cold temperatures that we had this year, I mean, it was still a great weekend, and it's definitely an event that we look forward to doing every single year. So if you have not checked out TFX, definitely do that. It's also a good time of year to do an event to kind of gauge where you're at going into the CrossFit Open. And I mean, we're just a little over 3.5 weeks away. So, I mean, if you're not ready now, you're not really going to be, but definitely be practicing those double unders and bar muscle ups and, you know, all the things that we're likely going to see in there. And if you need any help with working on any of that, you can always check out Sentinel Training.
Here's why you should be proud to be doing Sentinel Training and strongly consider joining if you're not. Other programs use long-term repetitive cycles. Sentinel uses 4-week varied progressions, while other programs often slip into movement redundancy or recycle entire training blocks. Sentinel stays true to the CrossFit methodology of constantly varied functional movements. That methodology also guides us in delivering intensity with minimal effective dose, where others favor volume. misrepresenting that as value for money. If you want a hands-off approach with minimal coaching or review, stay where you are. If you want level 3 trainers who care about your progress and test the workouts for you, reviewing your videos, offering coaching and feedback, then you need us. You need Sentinel Training. Start your free trial at trainsentinel.com.